round 1, pick 14. Someone very important to me, the Baltimore Ravens, are on the clock, and they're going to be picking a first-round pick. We need them to make an impact. Who do you have to help us out?
So the Ravens here don't go for need necessarily. They go for value. Nakobe Dean drops them at number 14, linebacker out of Georgia. And this is an absolutely awesome pickup. Nakobe Dean is an awesome football player, All-American, sideline to sideline, tackling and playmaking machine. He can cover, he can rush the passer, whether it's the run game, inside, outside, he does it all. He's an immediate playmaker on that Ravens defense, who, let's be honest, they need some help on that defense. They had some issues last year, even with the injuries. They're getting a little older in the front seven than guys like Calais Campbell and guys like that are leaving. I think this is a nice youthful upgrade. And here's one cool thing for you. Nakobe Dean's biggest knock is that he's a short linebacker. He's only about 6 feet tall. Well, there's another, former Ravens great who, when he came in the NFL draft, was deemed too short at only 6 feet tall. That guy turned out to be pretty darn good in Ray Lewis.
Absolutely. And Nick, if we want to win another one of these, yes, this is my Ravens replica Super Bowl ring. We need to get stronger at the linebacker position. Okay. We've got Patrick Queen. We switched him to the will position this past season. He's been great on the weak side, off the ball, not the middle linebacker. He's really shined there. Better pass rushing ability from there, and it's really shown that's where he needs to be. So picking up a guy who can go in the middle of the field with LJ4 or whoever decides to come pair up back in the middle, this could be a really strong pickup for Baltimore. And you say it's not need, but it could be need if we're going to bump Queen to the outside. We're looking for another leader in the middle of the field and someone with the Georgia a defensive captain at a linebacker position. That kind of ability is going to be really big for us.
So moving into the second round, they get Darian Kinnard, offensive lineman out of Kentucky. So Kinnard has actually been slipping in a lot of draft reports recently because he wasn't very good in terms of a lot of other prospects compared to them in terms of basic pass protection, standard pro style pass protection. He is a great run blocker. He's physical. He's tough. He's tenacious. Was a 3-year start in the SEC. Again, the only knock maybe is pass protection, which is great news for the Ravens because the Ravens obviously run heavy team. The passing they do a lot of times is based on play action. So it's kind of fits right into Kinnard's skill set. He's got the right mentality. He's got the right experience. I think this is kind of a steal here for the Ravens because Kinnard was a first-round guy on a lot of people's boards, and I think they get him here in the second round.
Yeah, and if he slips down, like you said, scheme-wise, this is a guy who may not be as great on other teams, but seems like the perfect fit for the Baltimore offense. And here's the thing. With how many injuries we had on the offensive line last year, you could tell me our first 4 picks are going to be offensive linemen, and I would be okay with it. We could switch Dean out for Linderbaum, and I would be okay all day, but I do like Dean there, and I like this pick here as well. I think Kinnard is a perfect fit for Baltimore. Like you said, we like angry, big, nasty run blockers, so this is right up our alley.
So moving into the third round, unfortunately, it's not another offensive lineman, but it's a guy who I think is another great fit for the Baltimore Ravens is wide receiver John Metchie III out of Alabama. Metchie's number one ability is run after the catch. He's got that ability to separate, whether it's slants, quick hitches, quick screens. That is his game. And that's exactly what the Ravens need. So much of how teams started to defend Lamar Jackson is they basically stack the box. We saw Miami do that kind of cover zero blitz. And they played man-on-man with Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown. And Lamar Jackson couldn't get no one could be open for a quick short pass to break a tackle. Metchie is that guy. He is a tackle breaking machine. He turns 2-yard quick hitches into 30-yard receptions. That's the immediate addressing that problem with the Ravens. I think it's a perfect fit. And the best part is he doesn't have to come in and be a number one wide receiver. Andrews is obviously that guy. Hollywood Brown's a deep threat. So I think it's just a nice seamless integration for Metchie into that Ravens offense.
Yeah, and I think with Snead a few years ago and now with Sammy Watkins the past year or so, they've really thrived on having that guy be somebody. And now we got to draft our own guy. We can't keep going to the free agency. Well, let's get the guy that we want. And I think Metchie, being from Alabama, tons of great Alabama receivers as of late. I think, like you said, having the quick slant guy to open up the passing routes for Bateman, for Hollywood Brown, for Mark Andrews. Anybody who's available, I think having this last piece is truly the great passing offensive spark that we're going to need. So I hope this is a great fit. I hope Baltimore looks and is able to pick up Metchie.
Okay, with the last pick that the Ravens have in the first 3 rounds, it's number 99. They get safety Akayleb Evans out of Missouri. Evans is a really interesting prospect. He's a transfer. He's a senior. He's a mature guy. There's a lot to like there. He checks every physical box. He's 6 feet plus, 200 plus pounds, runs good, big, strong. The only problem is he had a lot of games where he just didn't play well. But, the question is it scheme? Is he just trying to become a better football player? I think he is too physically talented here late in the 3rd round to pass up, because this is one of those guys where if he can just get a little more developed, get a little bit better at some of the coverage concepts, he could be a dynamite player. He could be a huge steal here. And I think the Ravens can take advantage of this because of right now, assuming they don't have another just massive injury depleted season next year, he wouldn't have to play right away. He could kind of learn and figure out the offense, figure out the defense under their new defensive coordinator. So I think this is a great pick by the Ravens here.
Yeah, the Ravens secondary, when they're not decimated by injuries, is second to none. You got Marlon Humphrey, you got Marcus Peters, you got Jimmy Smith, who plays slot, you got Tavon Young. Jimmy Smith sometimes drops back to safety. Then you have the superstar that nobody has heard of before, Chuck Clark, one of the best, smartest safeties. We saw him pick off Matt Stafford twice against the Rams. Okay, Chuck Clark, smart, great safety. But the other safety position, that's the one that's a little questionable. Have Deshaun Elliott, who is a really solid player, but has huge injury concerns. He's been injured almost every season he has been with the Ravens. On the other side, you have Tony Jefferson, a veteran that they've brought back and signed back to a short-term deal to maybe fill the gap in case Elliott doesn't come back in time. This I think, is the perfect pickup. You got Geno Stone from Iowa still. This is another guy who I think is a little bit more polished, a little bit more game ready. And like you said, he has time to grow and learn from some of these other guys. And I think this is a perfect fit for Baltimore. Get another safety back there, give someone you can develop, and hopefully he becomes into a great starter in the future.